Hey guys, this is Hannah from Profitry. We're super excited because we have some major updates coming with Profitry and making it very black and white for sellers to run Etsy ads profitably, right? So if you could give Etsy $1 and you could guarantee that the listings that you have on are giving you back 10, 20, $30, you would obviously give Etsy that dollar. But the problem is in Etsy ads, they make it, the reporting gives you no metrics that actually validates that data. And so we just built a tool that is going to make it very clear so every Etsy seller can scale their ads to the max and reap the benefits of making more profit, not just revenue. Otherwise, what would be the point of Etsy ads, right? So this is some screenshots inside of a Profitry account. So if you've checked out Profitry, right, obviously on our dashboard, we give you these breakdowns here. So here's a shop in the month of February of 2024. Their operating profit in Profitry says about almost $10,000, 9.9K, right? And this 9.9K is after their product costs, their shipping costs, transaction fees, listing fees, processing fees, and obviously product costs, right? And so this is about a 40.75% profit margin. And this is again after this 12% marketing cost percentage. So this is the profit after all direct expenses. Now, let's play out this scenario if this same account did not spend any money on ads. Okay, so this same account, this is the month of February, it's a custom date range here, spent 2,800 about 2,850 on ads that month. The reason this number is slightly less than this number is because this ad cost percentage in Profitry is including offsite ads, or this one inside your Etsy account is not including offsite ads. All right, so this inside of Etsy, this revenue is all of the revenue that Etsy's saying that the ad generated the shop, right? So it's the ads, it's the revenue directly from that click, and then also the revenue from the click, but then they purchased off a different listing, right? That is what this revenue represents in your ads account, right? So if we just run some basic numbers here, so remember we said 24,295, right? So we're going to take the total sales less the potential revenue that was made for the month from the ad spend, and we're going to analyze the profit. So if we do the same calculation, so that is $14,000. So it's $10,000 less in revenue. So that's a $14,000 in top line sales if you don't include what the ads generated the shop, right? The profit on that would have only been $7,023, right? And so we did the same, and how we got the profit from here was essentially by taking out all of these other fees percentages here, right? And so that profit left over is $7,000. So if you take if you do the difference about the profit you would have made with ads on versus with ads off, right, you're losing out on almost $3,000 of sales. And this is with an optimized Etsy account for this shop. So the minimum loss in sales is about $28.77, but that does not include potential sales that could have happened from outside the attribution window. So if you weren't spending money on, so when you run ads, there's only a 30-day attribution window. So if you weren't running ads the previous month either, then that means there was a potential loss of sales because the Etsy ads don't attribute a sale past 30 days of a click, right? So this $2,800 represents the minimum loss that it could be, right? But there's other loss that you can't account for because of attribution. You also can't account for, maybe in the previous month, you got a 5-star review, but that 5-star review came from an ad purchase, and now you don't have that 5-star review, right? There's an unaccounted for loss from that of potential sales that you would have made because of that 5-star review. It also doesn't make your shop the most competitive when you're not running ads. And it doesn't allow Etsy to favor you the long term, because if you're competing against someone down the street that's willing to outbid you, again, they're not only going to make more money than you, but in the long term, they're going to hold their top positions longer. They're going to show up more on the first page, way more than you. Plus, you're losing out on quite a bit of sales of profit, right? So with all that being said, this is first just to show the value of Etsy ads, right? I talk about Etsy ads all of the time. And obviously, we don't want to just turn Etsy ads on to unoptimized listings or listings that don't even sell organically and then think that Etsy ads are going to be the solution to the problem. If you are someone that's having trouble just getting organic sales, I would recommend you either joining our community or continuing to learn on YouTube for free or going through someone's course, whatever you need to do, because if you're not making organic sales, there is something wrong in your skill set that you haven't acquired yet. It's almost never an Etsy problem. It's normally some sort of skill set or an issue with your niche selection, or you don't know how to make competitive listings yet. But if you are making organic sales and you feel confident, you're getting good reviews, right, then you are somebody that is qualified for Etsy ads. And so you definitely don't want to lose out on sales because if there's all these benefits that Etsy ads bring to you. Now, back to where Profitry comes in. So essentially, the problem with Etsy ads now, let's go into an Etsy ads account. So if we come in here and we look at what Etsy gives you, right, you can see there's views, there's clicks, there's click rate, orders, revenue, spend, and ROAS. And while some of this information is interesting to look at, not one single metric here is actually showing you what you need to know to make a decision, right? Arguably, not even ROAS. And ROAS is even something that in the past I would say, look at ROAS and compare it to your break-even point. And again, that stuff is interesting to look at, but it's not the key performance indicator that tells you, is this working or not? Should I leave this on or turn it off? Is it costing me money, or are these clicks making me money? And so we are going to talk about what we're doing now. So basically, we take out any variables. It becomes very black and white, right? If I put in $1, I'm getting this amount back. And the only things that matters with your Etsy ads is not your clicks, it's not your click rate, it's not your ROAS, right? Because we'll talk about that in a second, but it's really the only thing that matters is, am I making money after my ad spend? Am I seeing the profit margins that I want to see after my ad spend? And the problem with ROAS is that ROAS sometimes can look horrible. And so people will come in here and turn it off because they think the ad's not working. But then when you compare it to its total sales, because remember, this revenue is not your total sales. This is just the sales from the ad directly from the click, or if they clicked on the ad and purchased something else, right? But if you then analyze it, your spend against your total sales, a lot of times you see that, oh my gosh, ROAS doesn't matter. It actually still makes sense because I'm still clearing a profit. And remember, there's a lot of lost attribution that come from these clicks and purchases, and extra views and traffic. If Etsy's seeing that your listing is getting more clicks and more purchases because it's getting help with ads, right? That helps that snowball compounding effect of that listing performing at its max potential. So the problem is what do you look at then, right? What do you look at? And we've actually run multiple thought experiments now spanning across over 250 Etsy sellers. And what we came up with was actually a compilation of everyone's feedback. And it's no surprise that what we discovered is that the true way to analyze your Etsy ads is the same exact way that 8-figure Amazon sellers analyze their ads. We also interviewed 6 different, not 7, 8-figure Amazon accounts, and Amazon PPC is very similar to Etsy PPC, except Etsy is like way more simplistic than Amazon. And the same metric that they analyze is what we've come up to agree upon is the only metric that actually matters. So now let's reveal that. So inside of your Profitry account, again, right, we are giving you something called your ad cost percentage. And your ad cost percentage, right, what you want to do as an Etsy seller is as you scale your ads to the max of $1,000 a day, even though it's not going to spend $1,000 a day, right, your goal is to optimize this spend and decrease this percentage so you can increase your profit margin percentage. So how do we do that? Well, we do that by turning off any listing that has an ad cost percentage on the listing level that is more than 12%. If we want to decrease this 12.35, that means that any listing that isn't hitting our ad cost percentage that we want to hit, that means we have to turn it off. And this metric is not something that we actually made up. This is an actual known term in the ads world. And so, what Profit Tree is launching next month is a new advertisement tab where we give you exactly that. So, in this column, we have something called tacos, which is essentially your ad cost percentage. But instead of it just being on your store level, you're now going to be able to see it on your individual product listings. So, as we saw, right, if you want your ad cost percentage for your entire store to be less than 10%, then that means that you would turn off any listing in your ads account that is not hitting your 10% goal and yielding you the profit that you want to see. I think it was 12% on my dashboard. So that means if I was analyzing this in a 30-day period or a 2-month period, whatever time period you want to analyze in, we would essentially turn off any listing that is not hitting our ad cost percentage or our tacos for our goals to make us the profit that we want to see. So why is this tacos so valuable? Why is this ad cost percentage so valuable? It's so valuable because what your tacos is your spend against or divided by your total sales. But the kicker is that your total sales amount here is your total sales from your ad revenue from the listing, your ad revenue from other listings, and your organic revenue. So it's taking the holistic picture of the revenue that originated from that listing. So let's just break it up one more time. So in your Etsy ads tab, the revenue column is showing you the green and the blue icon there, the ad revenue from the listing plus the ad revenue from the click of that listing, but they purchased off a different listing. That is what you see inside of your marketing tab. The difference is in our total sales is that we're including the organic revenue. And again, that is why people sometimes will look at ROAS and ROAS looks really bad. But then when you actually factor in your organic revenue, your tacos is actually really good. So it makes sense to leave that on to keep that momentum going, even though the ROAS looks bad, because we know that, or we believe that it's contributing to that organic snowball effect, right? And so that is the difference. And this total sales amount is not actually something that you can get inside of your Etsy account. We are the only tool that's providing you this data. And this is also the same exact way that you calculate tacos as an 8-figure Amazon seller when they're analyzing their ads. And again, the only thing that matters is, are you making money after your spend? And does it make sense to continue the fire, continue that momentum on that listing to get it to its max potential, scale it out as far as it can go, basically. Now, for people that don't like tacos or they believe that tacos does not contribute to that organic growth, we also have a ROAS and a break-even ROAS column here as well. So this ROAS column is the same ROAS that you see inside of your Etsy account, but what we put next to it is your break-even point. So your break-even ROAS is the ROAS, the return on ad spend that you need to hit to at least be breaking even on your ad level. Remember, ROAS is your spend against the same revenue that you see inside of your Etsy ad account, which is the green and the blue that you see here, right? And that is what they call ROAS. It is ROAS. It is true ROAS, right? It does not include organic sales. And so what's really cool is because now you have your break even point right next to it, you don't have to try to use the calculator and calculate it yourself. All you have to do for your break even ROAS to be perfect and correct is come into your catalog here and add your product costs, right? Because to calculate your break even point, you need to include all of your expenses before your marketing costs. And so one of your expenses is your product cost. So you need to come in here and add in your product costs. Or if you're using Printify or Printful, you need to make the integration here so that you can pull in all of your production costs. So this is really new. It's really exciting. This is going to be launched next month. We even have total orders here that breaks down your total orders by orders from ads versus your organic orders. It's just a lot of really cool, useful information, and we're super excited to share this with you guys. We want to make ads as black and white as we can to make this as simple as possible. And we truly believe that at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is tacos. And now anything that's not hitting your target tacos, basically for your extended period of time, means that you would go ahead and turn it off. And even in your product report here, what you can, or your listing report here, you can analyze listings that are on a downward trend for a time period. So if you're analyzing this year, you want to keep a close eye on the products that are doing worse than the previous year, because that might indicate that your advertising tacos or your ad costs on those listings is getting worse. So you would want to make sure you analyze those listings that are on a downward trend, right? And turn those off to let that ad money go to your listings that are making you your target tacos and return. Overall, guys, I hope you enjoyed this free training, and I will link below a month free trial to Profitry so that you'll hopefully still be in trial by the time that this launches, and you can check it out for your own shop. All right, hopefully see you inside.